Saturday marked the beginning of the Year of the Rat. This animal, representing the first of the 12 signs of the zodiac, is associated with wealth and prosperity in China. In other cultures, the rat is more often associated with plague and disease. It is unfortunate, then, that the dominant Chinese story this new year has been the outbreak of a health epidemic, the coronavirus. At the time of writing, 81 people have died from the disease, and there have been almost 3,000 confirmed cases in China. A further 44 cases have been recorded abroad in places including the US and Australia. The outbreak could have serious consequences for China's economy. Tourism is likely to be dented, with fewer people willing to travel to the country due to the risk of exposure. Consumption will also take a hit, as Chinese citizens who fear contracting the disease will be less willing to go out and spend money. China is the world's second largest economy, so any economic weakness there will impact the rest of the global financial system. Stock markets in the US and Europe are already falling as fears rise over the spread of coronavirus. Rupert Thompson, Chief Investment Officer at Kingswood, says that the virus has provided a catalyst for a market setback. The US market was down on Friday, and the UK and European equity markets fell around 2% on Monday, he says. The coronavirus has provoked comparisons with the SARS virus back in 2003, which ended up with close to 800 people losing their lives. That outbreak hit Chinese growth in the Chinese equity market significantly, but the impact was short-lived, with both rebounding within a matter of months. This outbreak comes at a difficult time for China. Its economy in 2019 grew at its slowest pace in 29 years, expanding by just 6.1% according to official figures. This slowdown is partly the result of the trade war with the US. While the two nations recently signed the first phase of a trade deal, tariffs on goods worth billions of dollars are still in place, further stymieing growth. With all this in mind, investors would be forgiven for taking a risk-averse stance on China. But while we cannot predict how great the overall impact of the virus will be, there are still reasons to be cautiously optimistic about China's economy in general. The slowdown has been more of a glide than a sharp fall, and it is important to recognize that the relative rate of growth we see in China is still significant when compared to the West, says Dale Nichols, portfolio manager of the Fidelity China Special Situations Fund. Moreover, a number of areas related to domestic consumption are still growing rapidly, as domestic demand continues to play an increasingly important role in driving overall economic activity in China. There are other positive signs ahead, according to Nichols, with the Chinese government taking more active. For more on this story, visit the news article link.